You might have heard me talking about certain things being sized certain ways and the limitations with that in stuff like maybe like the horizontal boxes, right? When we put a button into a horizontal box before, so we have a horizontal box and we put like a image into it and then we put a button into it. The button will automatically just size to whatever content is in it, which is a little bit too bad. What if we want this button to not have any content in it or be bigger than the text that we give into it or whatever? How do we set that up? Like at all? Well, for that we have a size boxes. A size box is just a parent widget that can hold one thing, and it will just force whatever is in it to go to the size that we give it in. So let's put in a size box into this horizontal box and then put our widget button into that size box instead. Now, if we select the size box and come over to the child layout here, we have a handful of different things that we can do. What I end up using more often than not is just the width override and the height override, where we can just say, hey, I want this to be a certain width, or I want this to be a certain height. Now, obviously, if we do want to override the width and the height, we need to make sure that these are not set necessarily to filling their whole vertical space, and then we can see that it will work with setting these sizes. So now we can set this button to be maybe like a little bit thinner, and maybe we'll align it to the center, and wider than it would usually be in this size box, which is really nice. Now, this is pretty hard-coded, obviously. This is just, it's going to be this size no matter what. Even if we make this horizontal box like bigger or like smaller, it will always just be that size. And sometimes that is what you want, but sometimes you do want it also to be a little bit more responsive still. So for that, instead of using these, what we can do is we can use the minimum desired width and height. So now we can say, well, I actually want you to be at least this wide, but if we put some more content into it, so in this case, let's say a text, you can actually become wider than that. The same with the height. We can say, well, I actually want you to be at least a certain amount of height, but you can grow bigger if you want to. At the same time, we can also set a maximum desired width and height. So I can say, well, actually, I don't want you to be any like higher or wider than this. So we can still limit its size while having it be a little bit more responsive to the content inside of itself as well. In the same way, if you don't care about specific size information, but only about the aspect ratio, we do have possibilities for that as well. An aspect ratio of 1 is just square. An aspect ratio of 2 is allowing it to be twice as wide, and obviously I would need to do that in the max in this case, twice as wide as it is tall. So for a normal like 16:9 video, like you're watching right now, the aspect ratio would be about 1.66. This is roughly the aspect ratio of a YouTube video. Depending on how you round, you might say 1.67, doesn't really matter. If you're going to like the cinema, for instance, off the top of my head, the widescreen aspect ratio that you see there, or with like super widescreen monitors, is closer to 2.1. So this is the ratio of width to height. And we can say, well, actually, I at least want this to be 3 times as wide as it is high, but no more than 5 times, right? So now if we do that, and I go in and add some more like gibberish to this text block, it will start growing, but only to a certain extent. With this, we can more accurately set up the constraints of the size of any given widget. If you've ever seen me working on widgets during like live streams and that kind of stuff, I use these size boxes maybe unreasonably much. These are really useful tools. But there is also a variation on the size box, that is the scale box. So let's actually put the size and the scale box side by side here and show you what the difference is. Because this is only the size that is going to hold a child widget. The scale box will actually scale what's inside of it as well. And with things like a button that usually fill the entire horizontal and vertical space of the box that they put inside, that doesn't really make a difference. But if you have like an image, like a texture, for instance, that you put in both of these, you will see. If I also set this image to be aligned to center, vertical, and horizontal, and this one also is aligned to both of those, even though this is not set to filling or anything, as I increase the scale box, the image inside of it scales with it. It maintains its normal aspect ratio. We can set it to stretching in any direction to like fit only the X or fits only the Y, or no stretching at all, or to fill or whatever. By default it's set to scale to fit, which is just like normal behavior as you would most likely usually want it. Compared to that, if I increase the size of this size box, it doesn't actually scale anything with it. Of course, we can set the image to fill horizontal and vertical, but now it's going to get stretched as well if we do anything with that. And just to show you that a little bit more, if we actually put a texture into this instead, you can see that the texture is going to get like stretched and squashed as I change this thing around. As opposed to this, where a texture being put into it, unless I specifically set this up to stretch, it's going to maintain its aspect ratio as I scale this up. So for things like scaling up textures in a box like this, a scale box, it's in the name, makes a lot more sense. Again, both of these can only take in one child object each. So if you want multiple, you're going to have to make them like in a vertical or a horizontal box or a red box or whatever. But very often I will end up using these size boxes specifically for things like buttons or in sub-widgets, so that they are at least guaranteed to have a certain size. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. And a huge thank you to my Cave Big Brain tier supporters, which care more for coding than impulse control: Earl, Monsterville Erno, my Cave Student tier supporters, Oiku, and my Cave Digger tier supporters, Mauricio Farias.